Yo, what's good my fellow Magic Knights? It is your boy DEADMANVINCE back with yet another Black Clover mobile video. Today we're going to be talking about the patch notes that are supposed to be dropping 7/31. Now, these patch notes are dropping on a Sunday, which is a bit unusual. Typically, we get like the information on a Wednesday, it drops on a Thursday. So, that means that I did miss the live stream. Usually I would stream the live stream, but I was kind of handling things in the background, and also, just I wasn't really like locked in like I should have been. So, since they pushed the update to a Sunday, as opposed to like doing it on Wednesday, Thursday, kind of like time frame like they usually do, I thought that they would push the live stream back as well, but the live stream still happened at the same time, which makes sense. Just because they have to push the update back doesn't mean that everything else will be pushed back, I guess, right? But we're just gonna go ahead and hop into these patch notes and see what it's all about. So, the first thing in these patch notes is that we're going to be getting new Mage Gacha, new Season 3 Limited Mage Gacha. Now, the three mages that they're going to be giving us is Asta, Charmy, and Vanessa, right? And last season, it was Noelle Ghost, so they're still continuing the swimsuit season thing, which is cool. I'm curious as to how they're going to handle seasons overall, because each season, we thought from each season that they would be changing things, because the first season was Clover Academy, and then we had summer, but now it seems that they're keeping the summer theme going. So are they going to try to get through like a big cast of characters before they switch from the summer theme, or is it going to be like next time it's going to be like a different theme, right? Season 4, who knows? But right here we have a red tank Asta, we have a blue healer Charmy, and we have a green attacker Vanessa. Now, let's talk about these three characters right here. I do not know their kits just yet. They have not released that information. That information could probably come like tomorrow or the day after. Usually they wait till pretty close to the update to release that information, just so everybody can kind of like keep that intensity, that suspense about them. I would like to see another Asta in the game that is not red. Literally every single Asta is red right now in the game, and Asta does well, right? The first Asta in the game was the SR Asta. You know, he is actually a pretty good tank. I did face him in PvP while like in the very like beginner stages of the game, and like he can tank out some hits, you know what I'm saying? And he has that taunt. Now he doesn't have as many. It feels like his taunt is not as effective as Mars's taunt because it doesn't proc as much. But obviously he's an SR. They gotta have some balances somewhere, right? But he has pretty good defense, and that's strictly due to the fact that he doesn't do any like magical attacks. So like they can give him good attack or very good defense depending on what his role is. Then we have the Clover Academy Asta, who is also another red mage, but he's like a really good damage dealer. So it's just like we have two red Astas already that are pretty solid. Obviously this Asta is supposed to be like a direct replacement for the SR Asta, but I want an Asta of another color. Sorry, I'm over here like on the wiki just kind of like getting things changed around too, so for talking points. But yeah, I really wish that we had like another color Asta. I would really appreciate that. Blue Charmy. What's funny about Blue Charmy is the first healer in the game was, or not first healer, the first blue healer in the game was Charmy, right? The SR Charmy, and that Charmy was actually pretty good. This Charmy right here is going to be a direct replacement. So it's crazy that each one of these characters are actually the same color as their first iteration as an SR, and they're just replacing them with an SSR. Maybe they want you to fit them into teams that you already had them fit into. Maybe that they, in their mind, they think that that's the most comfortable for you. But realistically, what I would have wanted was probably like a red SSR healer Charmy, a blue tank or attacker Asta. I don't really care what Asta's role is. He's gonna be good. He's Asta. I just wish that he had another color. She could have stayed green. You know, I wasn't really too pressed about that. But yeah, we just got Kahono recently, and she's another blue healer, and she's really good. But it's just like they're about to replace her with Charmy, because I have a feeling she's going to be better. Like, seasonal mages typically are better than the mages that are already out in the game. And a blue healer to release right after another blue healer. Honestly, I don't know why Kahono, Kiato, and Gifso were all blue, but that's just a whole other conversation. That's a whole other video. Then we have Green Vanessa over here, who's going to be attacker. So let's look at these green attackers. Alec Dora doesn't count. He's useless. Fuego I do not think is too great. So we basically, I feel like we have three really like solid options for green attackers. I could be sleeping on Fuego. I am sleeping on Fuego. Fuego's not bad. It's just that he doesn't hit as hard as I like him to sometimes, and that really skews my opinion of him. Fuego's probably fine, and I just haven't fully taken the time to build him out completely. But like, even compared, even compared to like Licht and Ryer on the wiki, right? Licht and Ryer are both S in PvE and PvP. Fuego's only A in PvE and PvP. And Yuno is also an A, the SR Yuno. So yeah, it's just like Fuego really don't seem that impressive to me. The wiki is literally equivalating him to an SR character. And honestly, I feel like Yuno is a little better sometimes because he has that double hit and he has so many AoEs in his kit. So it's just like we need more green attackers, realistically. And Vanessa is going to be very interesting. Skill page is interesting. Anyway. What do you think of Yuno Noel and Ghost from Swimsuits that appeared in Season 2? In Season 3, 3 new characters. Asta, Charmy, Vanessa will appear as Season Limited Mages for Swimsuit. In addition to Pickup Gacha, Season Limited Mages can be obtained through the door of the Gate of Destiny. So, I'm not really sure who I'm going to pick in the Gate of Destiny real quick, because, you know, I like to do summons to my heart's content and just get all the characters in the first place, and then usually my Gate of Destiny character is just like a duplicate. Before it's even out, I'm going to call it and say you guys are probably going to want to do Charmy, right? If you don't have Kahono, especially because Kahono and Kyato are not like must summons. They're good. They are very good. I think Kahono is great. I thought Kahono was ass at first when I got her because I didn't have her skill page and also because I didn't have HP gear yet, but I have like a full LR Gold Star like HP gear set now, so Kahono performs very well for me. She gets the job done, and she has really nice supports in with her shield. She has an attack buff, and her combo skill just like basically full heals the person she's beside. So no, Kahono's really good. But if you did not summon for Kahono and you are being a smart free-to-play player, then you might want to pick up Charmy from the Gate of Destiny just because she's a healer, and healers have a lot of like impact in the game, especially as the game develops more and more. At first, people were kind of like worried about making sure they do the most damage that they can do so that they, just get through the stage as fast as possible. But I feel like in the long term, they will start to release events where you can't just have characters built fully attack. You're going to have to like start building 4-piece sets or something like that, right? And I feel like just having squishy characters is not good. And even though Charmy is going to be a good healer, I do not see Charmy having a revive like Mimosa. Because Mimosa's like healing is just built different. Mimosa's sole purpose is healing. Charmy heals and attacks, but we'll see if they make this Charmy a full healing type. Vanessa, I don't really know what to expect. I imagine she could give herself a buff like. No, maybe she gives the entire team a buff, boosting their speed because of like when her and Finral were fighting Veto with Asta, right? So maybe she gives like a speed buff to the team, maybe a critical buff, just the Finral. So she could be like a self-buffing or a team buffing like DPS, which kind of like Noelle was like that. I feel like low-key Vanessa's gonna be like the dark horse of these three because what is there to expect from her? You know what I'm saying? Especially as an attacker, what do we expect from that? Whereas Charmy, I feel like we already assume she'll be good. Asta's going to be good. He's the main fucking character. Vanessa might be the dark horse here. So just keep that in mind. Obviously read the kits before you pick, but I feel like people are going to be going for Charmy for that heal. Okay. Look forward to the appearance of Season Limited Swimsuit Mage to enjoy the summer. The key is this is just saying that the Gate of Destiny key can be acquired from completing your advanced missions, the monthly missions. Event Black Bull Summer Special Training Story. With the summer in full swing, the event Black Bull Summer Special Training Story will be held against the backdrop of a cool seaside. Black Bull Summer Special Training Story has various events, stages, and seaside as the background. These events consist of a wealth of contents such as missions, battle passes, and exchanges. So Black Bull's Summer Special Training Story is literally just like the name of the season at this point. Obviously missions is going to be like World Boss. We're going to get a new subjugation battle. They're literally going to upgrade the Hall of the Tower Challenge. So just a few things like that. Battle Pass is going to reset. Obviously, if you buy the Battle Pass, you can buy a selector ticket at the end of the Battle Pass, which will allow you to guarantee to get one of the new seasonal mages skill pages and exchanges. So that just means that we're going to be getting new events that drop new items and give us like new rewards when we go in the shop. Now, hopefully, with the dice event was set up in a way where if you finished it, you can just keep running laps around the thing. And the dice event, if you guys do not know, is basically you would collect dice from doing little missions in the game, and there were golden dice, there were regular dice, right? The regular dice would roll anywhere from 1 to 6. The golden dice would roll, if you could pick. The regular dice would either roll 1 to 3 or 4 to 6, depending on like how far away the good stuff is and you want to get to it, right? Once you get all the rewards from going around the board over and over again, you can actually just keep circling the board and going to the start position, kind of like Monopoly, right? Hitting go, and once you hit go, you would get like a stamina chest, so you could just like spam stamina, spam farm something, right? But they did, however, get rid of that. Not get rid of it, but like every new exchange event that we have gotten thus far just hasn't had that same capability where you can just keep like going into it and keep getting a continual reward from it. So hopefully they do start to do stuff like that again. I really did enjoy that. Let's enjoy fun summer story in Burakumo. With the member of the Black Bulls. Limited time challenge. Phantom Hall of Fame stage added. Continuing from Season 2, a new stage will be added to the limited time Phantom Hall of Fame. In this update, Stage 80 will be expanded to Stage 100. Work out your strategy and try new stages. So this is super good, a really good sign. This looks like they're going to be updating this quite a bit because this is one big, bulky like game mode that gives you a lot of rewards. The first time you did it, it was only 70 stages, and I don't remember the rewards being like as great as they are now, because now when you do each stage you get like 50 black crystals per like stage. So just doing the stages themselves netted you a lot of black crystals, but also when you beat the stages to a certain level, like I think you get to like 30 and then like it starts from there, right? And every 10 levels that you beat, you get better and better rewards at the end of the season. The season's almost over, right? So if you have not finished that up, definitely go and finish that up to make sure that you're getting the best rewards you can get. I believe that if you beat stage 70, you get 1100 black crystals, and if you beat stage 80, you get 1200 black crystals and some affinity boxes, right? But yeah, they're going to be expanding it from stage 80 to stage 100 now. So they went up 10 stages last time. They went up 20 stages this time. I don't imagine they're going to keep doing it in this pattern where it's like 30 next time, 40 the time after, 50 the time after. No, I think they're trying to find a good number of how many stages they should be adding regularly each month, and then eventually they're just going to unlock the hard stages, and we'll be able to try those out. And when they unlock the hard stages, I wonder how good the rewards are going to be, because the regular stages, the rewards are pretty good, right? Skill upgrade materials, black crystals, you can get SSR Clover crystals, I'm pretty sure, from the like end of month reward, and the mage affinity gifts, right? Oh man, I was losing it for a second. Work out your strategy and training stages, already read that. New system. Now, this is very interesting. Among many mages who have given the development team a variety of opinions, the most common one is about playtime adjustments, i.e., the most feedback that we get is people complaining about having to grind for so long. The development team would like to reduce the fatigue of gameplay and improve it so that mages can enjoy Black Clover Mobile more comfortably. Therefore, we plan to implement a stamina multiplier system in the first update, or in the update first. The stamina multiplier system in stages that require stamina to challenge. It is a system that allows you to earn rewards for clearing the stage 3 times instead of 3 times the stamina consumed in one challenge. That translates kind of weird. Pretty much what that's saying is you have a choice to pay for 3 times the runs and get 3 times the rewards when you do it. If you don't want to do that, you can just do the stages one at a time if you want to, but literally, bro, save your time. In the future, we plan to reduce the amount of time spent playing the game repeatedly and increase the time you can play it so that it can be enjoyed in multiple ways. Then we have some balance adjustments. Now, this right here, and guys, like I've already gone through these patch notes, obviously. At the top of the video, if you're paying attention, you'll see that I already liked these patch notes. Following the balance adjustments made in the previous update for Nozel and Fuegolian's combo skill, because remember last time they updated the damage or buffed the damage on it because they felt like the damage didn't do enough, right? Now, in this update, they're going to be adjusting the balance of Jack and Yami's leader skill, right? But there's something very interesting right here. In this update, we will adjust the balance of the skill effects of Green Mantis leader Jack and Black Bull leader Yami, bond cooperation skill, and Black Bull leader Yami. So, not only are they giving Jack and Yami a buff to their combo skill, they're actually just straight up buffing Red Yami, which honestly, I'm fine with that. Red Yami is literally the character I've been focusing on most. He's going to be the first character that I like fully max out. He almost has his full like LR gear set. Like, I'm getting so close to working on him, man, or getting him finished up, right? The only thing that I need left over is like LR accessories, which is going to be a bit of a slog fest, but hey, it must be done, right? In the development team, in order to make the most of the charm farm of existing characters as well as new characters. With constant monitoring and the opinions of mages, we plan to continue adjusting the balance so that various characters can play an active role in each content. Character balance adjustments are scheduled to be made on a season-by-season basis. We will continue to inform you in advance through developer notes and update maintenance notices. Now, why is this important? Because we have a game like Grand Cross where sometimes a character drops and the character's so ass, the entire community has to revolt against Netmarble essentially to get them to amend what they did to that character, right? This game right here, we don't even have to say anything. When we say things, obviously they listen, they make the changes according. These guys know how to land on their feet and get to running, right? And then just move, pivot however which direction they need to. Oh, we need to fix this, let's do it. We need to fix this, let's do it, right? But another aspect of it is sometimes there are characters that I feel like players would low-key think are kind of weak, and these guys are monitoring their characters as well, and they see some of the characters as weak, and they're just like, you know what? We can make this better. So I really like that without us having to say anything about certain characters, they are just working on characters. Because I'm not complaining about Red Yami. I like Red Yami. You know what I'm saying? I still use him to this day. But if they feel that he needs a buff, please buff his crit rate or give him higher crit damage. I don't know, but like boost his crit rate like by 10% or something like that. Just give me the 10% boost, bro. I'll be fine with that, bro. Or make him less squishy. One of those two, right? But if they're going to go ahead and just buff up Red Yami, then go ahead and buff up Red Yami. Because I'm a big Yami fan. Yami's my favorite character. Mereoleona is my wife. Basically is how my split is, right? Yami as a character in the game, I think he's fine every iteration. I like the Red Yami better, of course. That's just who I'm sticking to. But if they want to make him better and give me a more enjoyable play experience, then that's fine. And this would double as giving people who did not think that Red Yami was as good as Blue Yami or just wasn't good in general for whatever reason, they have opportunity to play him and see the light of Yami, right? So with this, they will be making it so that people will start to like kind of delve out more and work on more characters, and like they'll update. And I also feel like maybe, just maybe, the updates to the characters that they make are depending on the season 2, right? Because like, what if they updated a specific character that they think will perform very well in the events in that season? Just a thought, right? Because sometimes things don't correlate like that, but sometimes they do, and you just got to kind of pay attention to things like that. So if Red Yami pops off this season and a lot of the content that comes out, then we might have a little pattern, but we can't say for certain off of just one change. Because I didn't use Nozel and Fuego last season whenever they boosted their bond skills. Normal challenge adjusted the difficulty of some stages. There are some mages who have already cleared the difficulty levels 9 to 12 of the regular challenges. More mages than that find it difficult though. In order to resolve this and allow all mages to continue their adventures, the HP of monsters that appear in difficulty levels 9 to 12 of the normal challenge will be adjusted downward. Now, this is very, very good because the first time that they tried to nerf the farming stages, essentially what they did was they made the mobs hit made the mobs not hit as hard, but they gave them more HP, which didn't really fix anything because a lot of people were still complaining, saying that they were like, oh, these mobs still hit hard, blah, 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 blah. And they made it so that if you use type advantage characters, you do more damage and take less damage. But it's just like, the issue was the fact that if you lowered their attack but increase their HP, that means that they are going to survive longer, which means that they will essentially be doing the same amount of damage. It's not about the fact that they hit you too hard in one hit. It's the fact that when you're going through the stages, they wear your ass away across 3 fucking rooms. You could get in that first room as a free-to-play player. You could get in that first room and all of your character's health is like halfway. And sometimes that's the best case scenario. But then you get to the next room and it's just like, the first room just got your health to halfway. What is the second room going to do to you? How many units are alive in the third room, right? That is your thought process when going through stages. By adding more HP and lowering their attack, you didn't change shit. You just made it so that the monsters last longer, so they have more time to hit the characters, and they're still going to be around the same health. But now, they've figured it out. Vic Gaming surpassed their limits. Good job, GG. They figured out that if you give the monsters less HP, they will not survive as long, and people can get through them faster and not lose as much health from getting hit so much. It doesn't matter how much you lower their attack if you're going to proportionally boost their HP according to that, because then the balance is just going to equalize anyway, right? But this is only for stages 9 through 12 on the on some of the farming stages, right? Or all the farming stages. And honestly, this doesn't really apply to me. This doesn't really apply to like sweats or anything like that. Oh, 9/12 is my birthday. It doesn't really apply to like sweats or anything like that are already at stage like 15. But you know, there are a lot of people who are still like kind of like locked under that little like roof, right? You get to like stage 9 because there's a point in the farming stages where you hit a hard like boost in like combat power that you need, and it's just ridiculous. Like I remember doing it like my first days. I was just like, bro, what the hell is this? I go from 101,000 combat power required to 148,000. Like, what is that jump? So it's very good that they're amending this. I feel like they were just like, I feel like the gaming probably felt that some things were very important, like once you get to that like jump in level. But realistically, let's talk about the stage where you go from 101 to 148,000 in particular. That jump did not make sense. That jump was not fair because from the 101 stage, the highest rarity gear that you can pick up is SSR gear. When you get to the 148 stage, the highest rarity gear you can pick up is UR gear. But is that jump really permitted when the UR gear is not as strong as the LR gear? You know what I'm saying? Like, you boost the UR gear all the way up, and then you get a piece of LR gear, and all the work you put into that UR gear does not matter. So it's just like, is it really fair to make such a drastic jump when we're still getting useless pieces of shit? Big gaming, hear me out. Now, downward adjustment of story quest difficulty up to chapter 3. This right here, as with the regular challenges above, many may find it difficult to progress in the story section where the difficulty level rises sharply. Therefore, the difficulty level of the early story quest up to chapter 3 will be adjusted downwards. We will make adjustments so that you can keep up with the new story quests that will be updated in the future. Now, this is a very good thing. Chapter 1 and 2 was pretty easy. Chapter 3, I feel like the first 3 chapters, right, they were training wheels for you because they added in chapter 4 and chapter 5 like after the fact. So those are like the real like chapters, right? Chapters 1 through 3 are just beginner chapters. That's the chapters that you use to get accustomed to the game, how it plays, like the fighting mechanics, all that shit, right? It's always like that. What probably happened was they got through chapter 1 and 2 and they were just like, okay, from chapter 3 they're going to chapter 4, which is like the real first chapter. Let's ramp up the intensity on chapter 3 so that people are ready for chapter 4. But possibly they may have made the intensity rise too high in chapter 3, and now they're going to fix that and bring it down to a more like moderate level, so it doesn't feel like 1, 2 jump to 3, 4, 5. Instead, it should feel 1, 2 gradual climb through 3 to 4, you know? So it's not going to be an exponential jump in difficulty, but instead a more moderate jump in difficulty. It will not be updated during the maintenance schedule for 731 in Season 3. In addition to the above, a new boss for the limited time challenge subjugation battle and a new demon shrine will be added. We are preparing various content so that all mages can enjoy Black Clover Mobile more, so please look forward to it. Now, this subjugation battle looks fire, or at least the boss on it does. Like, bro, whoever is whipping up these designs is going kind of crazy. This looks like some Grand Cross type shit, though. I'm not gonna lie. Subjugation battle organizes a total of 2 teams. A limited time challenge where you fight an enemy with 2 phases on each team. Or no, where you fight an enemy with 2 phases. Yeah, it does say that. A new boss, Prakidna, will appear in such a subjugation battle. Prakidna is a mixture of 3 evil-filled serpents intertwined and coexisting for many years. Since it has a gimmick that changes to various attributes, you should be able to enjoy the subjugation battle that are a little different from Battle Gigas. Let's gather the power of a mage you raised and challenge the subjugation of the powerful boss, Prakidna. Now, I love that they already are trying to like diversify what they're releasing with the types of fights that they're doing, right? Because this fight seems like it's going to have a mechanic where you switch through different colors in like one phase, which I think sounds pretty cool actually. With Battle Gigas, you did not need to run mono teams, but I feel like it was pretty easy to just run a mono team to kind of like burn through certain stages. And like honestly, Battle Gigas, I got tired of that fast, man. Like the first time it was around, it was really cool. It was really fun when I was going towards the SSR Crystal. But like by the time it came back, bro, I didn't care. Like so many of my characters are like, the game just plays differently when you like whale out first month, right? Because you get so much stuff in the first month and you're just like, wow, we just started and I know I can finish this stuff up over time. You just kind of lose the sense of urgency on some like crazier things. And honestly, I just got to a point where I was auto battling Battle Gigas every day, not even trying to beat like stage 7. When they added stage 7, bro, I tried it, I didn't beat it, and I was like, it's cool, it's whatever. I still have to farm a lot of gear though. So if I had the gear, if I focus gear as much as I focus like my characters and their experience at first, then shit would have been different. But that's just not the case. That's just how it is. Anyway, this boss, I feel will allow you to have more freedom with your teams, because if it's going to be changing colors, you're going to want color coverage of every type, right? So maybe you can start to build a lot of like very like unique comps, right? And maybe you'll be able to have more fun with this raid boss. I feel like this raid boss will be more fun, or subjugation battle. I feel like this one will be more fun than Battle Gigas, because Battle Gigas was very tedious. That's the reason why I auto battled it. Really, it was tedious because I think if you have a barrier, if you have a buff or anything of that sort, he does like additional attacks and shit, and then he just, you know, he does like, sometimes you do like the hard difficulties, this man just be getting 3 like turns back to back to back, and it's just like, okay, cool, bro, you need 3 turns to beat me, it's whatever, I don't care at this point, just auto battle that shit at that point. But this one is going to be fun, I assume, and yeah. We don't really have much information on it. We'll learn more about it. Obviously, whenever the information does come out, I will try to go through all of the like information for how the mechanics of the fight works. I'll try to get that all like jotted down and kind of try to talk about it in a video. I started to do that with Battle Gigas, but I kind of got worn out on Battle Gigas. Like, I don't get worn out on the game altogether. I get worn out on specific contents in the game sometimes. Let's gather the power of the mages you raised and challenge the subjugation of the powerful boss Prakidna. So I'm actually pretty excited for Prakidna. Unfortunate though that he's not going to be releasing at the time of the update. So I feel like they stagger these releases because typically the seasonal mages work in these events, because these events are linked to the seasons, right? So maybe they're just trying to give you time to acquire those mages, get them worked on, so you have them ready for this event, because this will probably come out a week after. New stage of the regular challenge Demon Temple. Even if you don't spend a lot of time collecting equipment in the normal challenge Magic Shrine, new stages will be added so that you can definitely acquire equipment if you play a little bit every day. So what they're saying is, we understand that players are getting fatigued from farming the gear dungeon over and over and over again. Everybody's crying like a baby, and instead of switching over and pivoting to different farming stages, they want to just keep farming gear even though they don't get the gear they want. It's about pivoting to keep your mind like, if you pivot when you're farming, say you don't get the LR gear that you want, if you go over and farm some affinity for a character, you can get some SSR crystals, you can get some like whatever kind of crystals you want, you can get some like black crystals, you can go farm experience potions, you can go farm talents, you can go farm, you know, weapon substat upgrade, like you can farm anything. But the problem is that people are constantly farming one thing, waiting for one thing, and yes, I understand gear is a very important part of growth, but are talents not? Aren't you going to need the substat materials before, like, after you get the gear, right? So there's other things that also, you should be farming everything, really. You shouldn't be focusing one thing super duper duper hard. If you have all the characters that you like, you know, level 100 already, you know, then good. You don't have to farm experience anymore. But you still have to low-key farm the experience dungeon for future characters that come out that are going to be better than the characters that are out now. And you also need to farm gold. So it's just like, I think switching focus would help you out. I'm not really too burned out on farming gear. Like, some days when I farm gear and I don't get the gear that I want, I look at it and I'm just like, god damn it. But like, you know, that's not often, right? It's because it's only those days where I just hard focus like gear. But low-key, yesterday I ran gear, and for the first time in like eons, I didn't get any LR gears in my 50 runs. But like every single time I get at least like 2-3 gears every time I run 50 runs, right? But they're going to be adding, if you clear it, you always get SSR, UR, or LR equipment. The Magic Palace, which is composed by set, will appear in rotation every 3 days, and you can challenge it up to 3 times a day. So, they're going to be adding in a new gear stage that you can challenge 3 times a day. It gives you a higher chance of getting SSR, UR, or LR gear. We already have something like that. So, I don't really know what they mean by this. Also, I don't like that this says SSR, UR, and LR equipment. You can always get SSR, UR, LR equipment. What that sounds like to me is, you can always get SSR UR equipment, because this is useless, this is shit, and this is useless. So like, realistically, no one cares about this shit. LR gear is the only gear that matters, and it's not even like the player base determined that. Vic Gaming determined that when they set the stats up on the gear the way they did. So honestly, this event, I don't have faith. I think it's gonna be mid, but I mean, let's wait for it and see what it is. Unless they mean you are guaranteed to get an SSR, a UR, and an LR when you do it, that's different. But like, even still, I'd rather just get 2 LRs at that point instead of getting all 3, because useless. Now, I understand for lower level players, this is probably going to be like a blessing for them. But lower level players, I must urge you, do not boost SSR gear, do not boost UR gear. If you were stockpiling your weapon upgrade stones, please don't waste them on this, because you're just dumping them into nothing. Implementation of new mage characters and holding of special events. So, this is obviously Julius. Right here you can see it says, in Season 3, him, the pinnacle of the Clover Kingdom's mages, will appear in a special event. Details will be announced at a later date. Please expect by all means. Now, what's very interesting about Julius is, they are announcing him alone. Typically, we get 2 characters whenever a new season comes out, whenever the banners change, whatever, right? Literally at first, when the game launched, Yami and Fuego. After that, we had the Midnight Sun mages. So it was Fauna and Licht. Then after that, Raya and Veto. Then after that, Kyato and Kahono. So mages have been consistently being released in pairs. Now we have a character that's about to drop on their own, and it says a special event. This makes me feel like we're about to have like a festival campaign already, like 3rd month into the game, which I ain't too upset about. I don't think that they're giving up too much stuff super early in the game. I feel like it's good to go ahead and set these things up early in the game, especially because we know that they'll just be coming later on. Because the earlier we get things like this set up in the game, the sooner we can start getting things like I guess what would an easy A be in this game, right? The sooner we can get things like that set up in this game. So, Julius is coming. He's going to have a special banner. He's going to have a special event. He's possibly the first festival. And honestly, it will make sense. They didn't even call this man by fucking name, even though you know who he is. They literally said, yo, him is here. That character. That guy. Timothy Henderson. I'm done. Anyway, this man Julius is coming, and also, I hope they give this man an extra cosmetic, and I feel like if they do give him an extra cosmetic, it's going to be fire. But, that is it for these patch notes. I already liked the patch notes. If you guys did like the video, I guess, or subscribe. One of those 2 things will suffice. But yeah, that's going to be it for your boy Deadman. Peace.